You know that voice, that nagging, critical voice inside your head that just loves to second-guess your every move. We all have one. So today, we're going to talk about how to finally tame that inner critic and turn its volume way, way down. Seriously, does this feel familiar? You're about to do something you care about, and bam, suddenly you're just paralyzed by this whole monologue of doubt and fear. You're definitely not alone in this. This is a battle pretty much everyone fights, whether they admit it or not. So the author of our source material, Victor Odåsnac, he tells this great story about himself. He was a really good tennis player, and he'd warm up looking like a total pro. But the second the match started, he'd just crumble. And it wasn't his opponent beating him, it was this voice. One bad serve and the self-criticism would just spiral out of control. And he had this incredible realization. He was so busy trying not to lose, he had completely forgotten how to win. Okay, section 1. Let's properly meet your inner critic. This uninvited opponent, it doesn't just show up in sports. No, it pops up at work, in our relationships, pretty much any time we dare to try something new. You know, his big breakthrough moment came from a pretty unexpected place, watching professional golfers on TV. He noticed that the real greats, they don't get hung up on a bad shot. They forget it. Instantly, they refocus and they move on. And that was a total revelation. Mental strength isn't some gift you're born with, it's a skill. It's something you can actually train. All right, section 2, welcome to the ant farm. You know, to defeat an enemy, you've got to know what you're up against. You have to name it. So let's meet these little troublemakers that are running wild in our minds. So this term, ANTs, it actually comes from a psychiatrist named Dr. Daniel Amen. It stands for automatic negative thoughts. And they're sneaky. They just pop into your head without any warning, whispering things like, oh, I'm not good enough for this, or I'm definitely going to fail. And because they're so fast and they happen so often, we start to mistake them for the truth. But here's the most important part. They aren't truth. They're just noise. I want you to think of your mind like a garden for a second. You've got helpful thoughts. Think of them like friendly ants, carrying good vibes and helping everything grow. And then you have these pesky ants. These are the party crashers. They're the weeds that, if you let them go, can completely take over the whole garden. Okay, section 3. Let's meet the ant families. See, not all ants are created equal. It's time to unmask some of the most common villains so you can start recognizing them and, take away their power. So, do any of these sound a little familiar? First, you've got the catastrophizers. They turn one tiny little slip-up into a full-blown, life-ending disaster. Then there are the mind readers, who are absolutely convinced they know that someone dislikes them based on, zero actual evidence. Then you have the all-or-nothingers. For them, anything less than 100% perfect is a total failure. And finally, the personalizers, who carry the weight of the whole world on their shoulders, blaming themselves for literally everything that goes wrong. Just spotting which family is paying you a visit is the first step to showing them the door. All right, section 4, the simple, slow method. Now that we've met the culprits, it's time for the good stuff, the solution. This is your ultimate toolkit for a little mental pest control. So what is the secret? How do you squash these ants the moment you feel them creeping in? Well, the answer isn't to fight them or wrestle with them. Nope. It's something much, much calmer and way more powerful. The secret is to go slow, S-L-O-W. First, S, spot the ant. That's it. Just notice it's there. Awareness is like your flashlight in a dark room. Next, L, label it. Give that thought a name, like, oh, that's just catastrophizing. Or even something silly like, there's my old friend Doomy Dan. This creates distance. Then, O, observe it. Don't fight it, don't judge yourself for having it, just watch it pass by like a cloud in the sky. And finally, W, write it down. Keep a really simple journal of your progress. Tracking your wins, no matter how small they seem, builds some serious momentum. Okay, moving into our final section, filling your confidence bucket. You see, practicing the slow method, it does more than just stop a few negative thoughts. It actually changes your entire relationship with your own mind, and it creates this hopeful horizon. And this quote from Winston Churchill, it sums up the whole spirit of this, doesn't it? It's not about achieving some perfect ant-free mind.
It's about building up the resilience, the courage to just keep going, even when those thoughts decide to show up.
Let me give you one last metaphor here to really capture the long-term cost of these ants. Think of your confidence as a bucket, and you fill it, drop by drop, with your effort, with small wins, and with kind self-talk. Now, life is going to spill some of that water. Sure, that's totally normal. But ants, they're different. They are the tiny, persistent holes they chew in the bottom of the bucket, draining your confidence without you even realizing it's happening.
And this is exactly why the slow method is like your personal repair kit. Spotting the ants? Well, that plugs the leaks. Celebrating those small wins, that adds a few more drops back in. And using kind self-talk, that helps keep the bucket full. And over time, your mind becomes this protected reservoir of strength and courage.
So this brings us to one final powerful idea. Your mind is your garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. You can just let the weeds, the ants, grow wild. Or you can choose to cultivate something beautiful. The choice of what to plant, what to water, and what to weed out. That choice is yours every single day. So what will you grow today?
Your inner critic lies. Get rid of those ants and declutter your mind. By Victor Odåsnac.